it is not just having a social conversation with your girlfriends. I have a lot of social conversations with my girlfriends about things that I might need to work on and work through, but I'm not going to get the full help that I need in that social conversation with my girlfriends. You do need coaches. You do need people or therapists, like you suggested, to help you work through those things, because there's a process for that. You don't get there in a one social conversation. It's not going to help you the way that you want it to. It's not going to stick.
But okay, 1,000% agree. But I want to add on to specifically when it comes to having the conversation with your girlfriends.
Yeah.
It's all fine and dandy to go and vent to your girlfriends. The issue that I have and even run across is your girlfriend is there for you. And most of the time, they're not holding you to the fire. They're not pointing out the things that you did, that you said that you were wrong on, because they are your ride or die, right? Yeah. And so we have a tendency to always put the blame on the other person. The other person in this case is the significant other, right? But that finger hardly ever points here. Yeah. And so as much as I love the venting to the girlfriends, they can't pull you or take you.
They're not objective.
No, not at all. So if you want to shift and change your life, specifically since this is a new year,
yes,
you got to do something different in order to get different results.
Come on, Marsha.
Stay talking to your girlfriends if you want to up level your life, if you want to up level your relationship with your significant other, and or up level the relationship even with yourself, because the very people that are in our lives usually align where we are at.
Right.
If you want to go above that, you have to pay somebody usually who has the information, who has the knowledge that's going to help you get to the next level. Right. And so many people are either afraid to pay the money because they hear the price, but we pay for what we want to pay for. And I'm going to say this next statement, but I'm not knocking in any way. I just want to correlate the statement. Those Beyonce tickets, when they came,
right,
that concert was sold out, and those tickets were not cheap. So what is my point? My point is you will spend $1,200, $1,500, whatever, for a few hours of your life, when you can spend the same amount or a little bit more, whatever, a little bit less, depending on who you're working with, for a few months of your life to change your life. And most people will choose the experience versus the change on their life, when they're not realizing, again, not knocking B in any way.
Right.
Because she put in her time, she honed her craft. Awesome. But now how are you going to hone your own craft? What's taking you to the next level?
Right. Check this out though. Beyonce got a coach.
Yeah.
Beyonce invested her money in a coach.
Yes.
And she and I would venture to say that she probably had more than one on her way to where she's at. And most people that you see on levels like hers, they had coaches that helped them get there.
Oh my God.
So you are not going to get there by yourself or in your socials group with your girlfriends, especially if all of them are, you know how they used to say you are the average of the 5 people that you hang around the most.
Yes.
So if you the average of the 5 people that you hang around the most, if ain't none of them Beyonce, chances are you might not be at that level. So sometimes you really do. I mean, and I don't want to be, I mean, my friend, hey, y'all know me. If y'all tuning into this podcast, y'all know how I roll and y'all know how I flex. And it's not about flexing. It's really about, if you want to reimagine you, it's going to require you investing in you. It's putting your money where your mouth is. It's putting your time, because a lot of it does cost you, but it's also making the time, to do it. It's putting in the work, because you're going to meet with a coach and the coach is going to say, hey, let's have a conversation about this or that. They're going to listen to you. They're going to hold you accountable to the things that you're going to have to go back and do.
Yes.
It's
all about that work. It's that work. Yeah. Listen, you just said it. I don't care how many coaches you talk to. They can't do the work for you, baby.
They can.
You got to do it. You got to do it. And I'm so glad that you said that about Beyonce specifically, because I usually take it to the athletes, but the point is essentially the same. Everybody that's at that level and beyond has a coach.
Right. Yeah, they do. And the coaches got coaches. Like nobody's getting anywhere that they really wanted to go by themselves. It just doesn't happen that way. And here's the other part of that too. I believe that when you make the investment, and I know y'all listening in and y'all like, y'all going hard on the coaches. Y'all telling us to invest in coaches, and we are. But here's the thing: when you make that investment in yourself, what it does is it also increases the return on your investment. So that means that you'll be able to make more. You'll be able to, because you'll perform better in whatever area it is in your life. And you'll probably be able to increase your income, whether it's in your business, whether it's in your career, whether it's in the way that you invest, whatever that thing is. Because if you're not confident, for example, we're going to use Marshawn and the work that she does. So if she's helping you to increase your self-esteem and boost your confidence, speak softly to yourself so that you can, you change some things on the inside, your mindset, then you show up differently. You show up differently in your workplace. You show up different in your business and the way you serve your clients. And then what happens is the byproduct of that is that, hey, you become, more or better at your leadership material and potential inside of your workplace. Your clients that you serve, hey, they're probably going to be referring you to more and more people because of the work that you're doing with them. Then they're like, hey, you need this girl that's helping me. Hey, you need to get her because she can help you. So I'm just saying that it helps you. The benefit of it enables you to be able to take care of what it costs you to have the person.
Yeah, love it. I totally agree. Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so let's get into the change conversation because I'm telling you, I love coaches. I think they're important. So tell me, I always ask the question, what was the biggest change that changed you, Marshawn?
The biggest change that changed me was literally believing in me, believing in my worth, believing what I bring to the table, what I offer, believing who I am, as well as loving. Like you could add loving to all that stuff as well. It really took me a few decades before I really honed in and owned who the person that you see today, who I am currently today. It took me a few decades to get to this woman, this coach, the confidence that you see. And so I just had to believe in myself. And then, like we talked about, nobody can do your work for you. So I had to put some action steps in there. Do it scared, do it afraid. So specifically for me, I was talking about the relationship. And so when I literally started reading books and taking a lot of digital courses, because at the time I didn't know anything about an actual coach. So it took me 15 years to learn all this stuff. I say 15, but it's 15 and counting, really.
Okay.
Probably about 20, 25 at this point. But the point is this. Not only was I learning and taking in all this information, you can't just keep taking in information. It was what I was going to do with the information that I was taking in.
Assimilate.
Then I had to start doing this stuff. So whatever I would read in the book, because for me, it was about trying to figure out why these relationships was not going to the next level. And I had to figure out that I was the only common denominator in all those relationships that wasn't working out. So I had to do something different to get different results. So this books and the digital courses and speaking to some of my exes, I went to some of them and asked why we didn't get to the next level. So I was collecting a lot of data. And then based off of the books, the digital courses, the conversations I had with my exes, as well as just people that I saw that were in better situations that I was in, I would have conversations with them and I would take that information and then I would start to apply it. So the next day, because I didn't go back to my exes, they're exes for a reason, in my opinion. So the next date, apply one of the things, and I was like, oh, that's working. Or I would implement boundaries more, because when you want somebody, you'll just let them do whatever, thinking that that's going to keep them, when it doesn't at all. So then I had to establish boundaries. And so one thing after another was like literally laying a brick wall, one thing after another, in order to get to where I'm at today, where I'm able to say, and I can just see it. I can hear it. I can see it. I'm like, no, that's not going to work out for me. And I'm confident enough to say that, because prior to, right, me not believing in myself, me not believing in my worth, as well as not loving myself, just running amok, just running amok on me. And I didn't like that anymore.
It's not a good thing.
Right. Yeah, I have to take control of my life. That's what they have to do. You got to take control of your life. You have to.
No, that's key. That's key. That's key. So all that you took in, and I like how you said that you applied it. And it sounds like you applied it immediately. Had a meeting, talked to them, learned something, go and apply it, test it, test the theory. That's key. So how did they respond? Those exes that you went to and asked them, like, how come we didn't get to the next level? What was that? Tell us a little bit about what that process was like. Because I bet that's something that this is a lab moment. We tested something. How did that work?
I have to say, when in the moment of me doing it, I was just trying to figure out what was going on. So it wasn't something that I was thinking, well, I could use this later on in my life to tell a story or to help somebody out. It had nothing to do with any of that. I was just like, I think I'm a pretty good woman. I got some good morals, good values. I'm kind of running down my own list.
Right.
But it's not working out. So they have the answer that I don't have the answer that they have, because I think I'm pretty good. But obviously something is missing in me for them. So I had to go get the answer from them, right? And so when we would have the conversation, it was a very casual conversation. It was more just, hey, you know what? I know we're not dating anymore, and I'm actually not asking for us to get back together. But why didn't we get to the next level? Like, what was it in me that you saw or that you can think of? Because sometimes we can't really put our finger on why. But for those of the men that could put their finger on why we didn't go to the next level, I literally listened without getting angry.
Yeah.
Right? Because I really wanted to hear what they had to say so I can be better. And so they had the information. I went and gathered the information. It wasn't a really long, drawn out conversation. We kind of had like small talk, like, what's going on in your life at that moment or whatever. And then we kind of wrapped up the meeting, because it wasn't a date. It was kind of a, hey, how you doing meeting, right? We wrapped that up. And then I went off on my life. So it wasn't anything big, at least for me, from my viewpoint, as far as the men. It wasn't anything huge, or it was just kind of like, hey, why didn't we go to the next level? Okay. It was maybe one or two things that each guy told me. And then I made sure that I would work on that when I would go on a date with someone else. So hopefully that answers your question.
No, that totally answers the question. And I think that showed work that you've done. You know what I mean? Like that, to be able to do that, because I'm not going to say most of the time, but a lot of times we are, feedback is hard sometimes for us to take. And so, but I like that you was able to do that. So as you guys are listening in, this is a good one. And this is a good example of what I have, what we call feed forward. Like this is, this is good information that you gonna just sit and just alleviate the feelings, not get into no feelings about how people respond. You're going to ask the questions, be objective to what answers or responses that you get from it, but take it back, because you're doing a survey right now. That's what it is. And that's feed forward that you can use for your relationships and things going forward. No, that's good. And that's a strategy.
I love it. Yes, exactly. Feed forward. I love that. Yes, absolutely. It was, again, it wasn't something that I was like, I'm going to check this box. I was just like, this seems like it should be doable. Let me go and do this. because
Yeah.
all the other stuff wasn't working. So I had to figure out what's working. And so this was the way that I went about it. It works for me. It's worked for a few of my clients. They've gotten, you know, that awareness piece that I was talking about
Yeah.
earlier. They have become more aware how they're showing up. And now we're shifting. So this is
Yeah.
where the shift relationship strategist comes from. We get strategies. We're shifting your mindset, shifting the way that you're showing up. And the relationship is a relationship with yourself, but also the relationship with other people. So all of those things, that's what we got it.
Marshawn, hey, that's good stuff, girl. Good stuff. Now,
I'm just on a mission to help women that look like me.
Yeah.
Because we have always started in the background. We're not going to go down the road, right? But all of us know about our history. And so we always have been in fight mode or survive mode.
Yeah.
And when we have people out there that have the answers, right? Coaches, therapists, and specifically shift relationship strategists, me, myself. And then we have the reimagine strategists. When you have people out there that really want to help you to get to the next level, just take us up on our offers, literally take us up on our offers so you can be better. Because if you become better, that not only helps me to say, okay, yes, I helped somebody, but now it's helping our community overall. It's not just about me. It's not just about MG. It's not just about you that is listening. It's about our entire community, because you can not only have a beautiful relationship, right? You have to start with the relationship with yourself, but you can have a relationship, a beautiful relationship with your spouse. But it's that awareness piece that most of us are not aware of. So
yeah,
absolutely.
no, that's good.